Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast. My name is Amir. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or Google, don't forget to follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm on my path to 2,000 subscribers. So don't forget to like, comment, and share and subscribe. So thank you so much. So I have a quick update that I want to provide from Eric Spoelstra. So the Miami Heat are playing against the Portland Trailblazers tonight. The Miami Heat are 39 and 33, seventh seed with 10 games left to go. Pacers are only one game ahead of the Heat. The 76ers are only half a game behind the Heat. It's a tight race in the East. The Magic have a 3-game cushion at the 5th seed against the Miami Heat, so it might be tough to catch up to them, but that's still possible with 10 games left. But the only problem is we have to rely on them losing. So right now the Miami Heat need to control their own destiny and win each game one at a time. So the Heat are heavy favorites at home against the Trailblazers. I think they're minus 14. And there's a ton of injuries on both sides, but there's some good news. Wanted to give a quick update. So we all know that there's been critical injuries with Tyler Herro, Jimmy Butler being ill recently, Duncan Robinson, and other players that have been in and out of the lineup with minor injuries. But some good news, though, there was a report that came out. The bad news is Tyler Herro is going to be missing his 17th game in a row and his 38th total, I believe, of the season now, or somewhere around that range. He has returned to the court for on-court activities, so that's a good sign. So we're hoping that he will come back sometime before the playoffs start, so he can, brush off that rust. But either way, he's not going to play tonight, which makes sense. I think you should hold him out, and we don't need him even against the Wizards. In theory, you never know with this Miami Heat team, which has been so up and down and inconsistent. And that's not the greatest news, but the fact that this week he's back on the court, that's good news. Duncan Robinson is out again. He'll be missing his 5th game in a row with his facet syndrome, so some vertebrae issue in his back. But it was told by Shams that he's going to return sometime by the end of this week, perhaps, or early next week. So again, I think they would, since Jimmy's coming back from his illness, that the Miami Heat are going to be cautious and rest him until he is fully healthy and ready to go. So on the good side, Jaime Jaquez Jr., we know he missed Sunday's game against the Cavs with an ankle injury, but he did play against the Warriors on Tuesday. He is probable. Jimmy Butler, who missed the Warriors game due to an illness after he was partying, watching the Miami Open tennis tournament. He's probable, which is good. We definitely need Jimmy first and foremost. Caleb Martin, his ankle, he's listed as probable. He hasn't missed any games recently. And then more importantly, Kevin Love. Kevin Love has been upgraded as of Thursday to probable from questionable with his right heel injury. He missed 14 games in a row, I believe. So big news that Kevin Love is finally coming back. We definitely need him off the bench. He's our best backup big, seasoned veteran, former NBA champ, averaging 7 rebounds in like 15 minutes off the bench, which is huge. 3-point percentage could be better, but he's shooting like 35% from 3. So he's just going to help us a lot. I mean, Thomas Bryant, admirable time off the bench. He had like 2 or 3 good games. And then, of course, he's a role player who was basically out of the rotation and only in the rotation because of injuries, had 3 bad games after having 3 good ones. So that's the nature of being a role player. He's inconsistent. And now we have Kevin Love coming back, hopefully tonight. You never know, even though he's probable. You never know with this Miami Heat team. He could possibly miss the game. But it's going to be huge coming off the bench, having someone more reliable and skilled backing up Bam Adebayo. So happy that he's coming back. And, we definitely need to win this game, one game at a time. So the next 2 games on paper are easy. But again, you never know with this Miami Heat team. But let's just see how serious this Miami Heat team is. We need Jimmy Butler to destroy the Trailblazers. I want him to play 3 quarters. I want the Heat to blow out the Trailblazers at home, kind of like they did against the Cavs. That doesn't need to be a 45-point lead and ultimately a 37-point victory like they beat the Cavs last week. But I want them to be up by 25, 28 points. And that way they can rest Jimmy and Bam and give Haywood, give Jovic, give Hawkes, give Thomas Bryant again, and Orlando and other players like that minutes so they could stay ready and be ready in case we have further injuries in these 10 games or even during the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. But good news again, Kevin Love should be back tonight. And then hopefully Tyler Hero can return because he's in his next phase, which is on court activity. And we saw him shooting around and doing some moves, and he looked okay. So hoping he can come back soon. And I'm hoping he can play at least a minimum of like 5 games. So if he misses the next 5 games or so, that gives him another week and a half off. That would be almost 6 weeks of non um, basketball activity, basically non games. He needs to get at least back into shape and back into rhythm. So that's all I have for this update. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.